protesters attended the Bands Off Our Bodies Phoenix rally. Coming up, how the people of Phoenix reacted to the Supreme Court's decision.
Climate change does not affect everyone equally. The residents of Phoenix share their thoughts.
Gas prices are on the rise, why electric cars may be the future of transportation. Good afternoon and welcome to the Cronkite Summer Journalism Institute broadcast. I'm Natalia Marin.
And I'm Erica Jing. The broadcast you're about to see has been entirely produced by high school students. After nearly 50 years in a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last Friday. Following the announcement, President Biden spoke to the nation.
State laws banning abortion are automatically taking effect today, jeopardizing the health of millions of women, some without exceptions.
Arizona has become one of the 7 states which have placed a restriction on abortions as of this morning. All 7 healthcare centers of Arizona that offer abortions have now halted their services.
In response to the decision, hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Phoenix to show their opposition that evening. Cronkite SJI reporter Chloe Choi has more.
Today, Bands Off Phoenix is holding an event to show their opposition against the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. On Friday evening, hundreds of protesters gathered in front of the state capitol to voice their opinions to the Arizona government. Amongst them was Arizona mother Gabriela Carrillo.
I think they need to know that it's not just about abortions and just not wanting to have children. It's about the rights to our own bodies. It's about being able to be imprisoned for having miscarriages and being raped and having to keep our rapists as children. It's not just about getting rid of a fetus. It's about the rights to our own bodies.
In March of this year, Governor Doug Ducey signed Senate Bill 1164, which becomes active in July. It states, except in a medical emergency, a physician may not intentionally or knowingly perform, induce, or attempt to perform or induce an abortion if the probable gestational age of the unborn human being has been determined to be greater than 15 weeks. If they do, they can have their license revoked along with possible criminal offense. Although the bill has many supporters, some who are amongst the protesters, people like House Democratic leader Reginald Boulding speaks about the overall message of the new overturn.
Abortion is health care. Women should have the ability to choose to do what they want with their own body. And the fact that you have a Supreme Court that has taken an activist approach is not what we need to be doing right now at this point in time.
Reporting in Phoenix, this is Chloe Choi from Cronkite SJI.
Later that night, tear gas was released on the protesters. Over the course of the 3 nights, a total of 9 people were arrested. More information about Arizona's reproductive rights can be found at PlannedParenthood.org.
With these scorching temperatures still climbing in Arizona, heat-related deaths are at an all-time high. According to Maricopa County officials, nearly 340 people died last year in the extreme weather, which is a 70% increase from 2019. Cronkite SJI reporter Alexia Neal is in downtown Phoenix telling us what is being done to help those in need.
Many people in Arizona don't have access to water or a place to cool down. We visited St. Vincent de Paul, which offers a lifeline to those suffering in the Arizona heat. Just in time for summer, this facility for those experiencing homelessness has opened up in Phoenix.
So they probably saved a heck of a lot of lives.
And Steve Harrison admits his life is one of them.
I didn't think I could make it another week out in the heat.
Shelter manager Jennifer Morgan says the timing of their opening couldn't have come at a more critical time.
The shelter opened and Maricopa County experienced its first heat-related death.
And this shelter is unique for the Valley. Morgan says their shelter is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while most other places are not. This helps those experiencing homelessness at a lower risk for heat-related illnesses. In the 6 weeks the facility has been open, Morgan says they've been able to help 10 people find a place to live and dozens connected to medical services. These organizations urge everyone to do what they can to get involved. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for support through volunteers or donations. By donating a simple bottle of water like this, you could help save a life. For more information, visit stvincentdepaul.net. Reporting from Phoenix, I'm Alexia Neal, Cronkite SJI.
Summer is the time for picnics, barbecues, and basking in the sun. However, overexposure to heat can be extremely dangerous. Remember to always have water on hand and stay hydrated.
Did you know that what's in your closet could be contributing to the climate change crisis? Fast fashion is an increasingly popular trend where clothes are mass-produced and marketed at a low cost. I sat with experts and asked them why they believe a cheaper price tag is costing us more in the long run. Searching through the racks for unique wearable treasures, Pickers Playground organizes mass thrifting events like these in Phoenix throughout the year.
I thrift because, first of all, I think it's really fun because you just never know what you're going to find. But also I think it's a good alternative to fast fashion because so much like clothing is going to end up in landfills.
This event in Phoenix brings together people looking for a mix of style and sustainability. Organizers tell me that over 500 thrifters are here to shop from 18 local vendors.
Pop-ups like these help to make thrifting more popular and offer an alternative to fast fashion. According to the UN Alliance, fast fashion contributes 10% of global CO2 emissions and 20% of global water waste.
So that's one of the first things I actually learned my freshman year, is that fashion is one of the #1 contributors to pollution on the globe. Like, there is clothing everywhere in landfills. It's truly disgusting.
Although thrifting pop-up events are a unique experience, places such as the Salvation Army and Buffalo Exchange provide a long-standing and accessible approach.
The Salvation Army was doing green a long time before that was even a thing, and so all of the clothing that's here behind me as an example, none of that goes to any landfill. It all ends up being recycled as a part of our business procedures.
The Salvation Army is a nonprofit charity, and Buffalo Exchange helps customers support nonprofits while they shop.
Secondhand shopping somewhere like Buffalo, it just sort of makes that like fun and easy to do. You don't have to spend a lot of money on like sustainable brands and sustainable materials in order to shop sustainably. You know, you can also just shop secondhand items and keep those pieces in circulation.
The consumer research firm, America's Research Group, finds that each year less than 20% of consumers will shop from a thrift store. But local fashion experts hope that 2019 data can change as people upgrade their clothes with climate in mind. Reporting in Phoenix for Cronkite SJI, I'm Natalia Marin. With the rise in popularity of online thrift stores like ThredUp and Depop, where selling your clothes is as easy as clicking a button, experts predict that the number of second-hand consumers will also increase.
Still to come on Cronkite SJI News, drinking from sustainable coffee shops such as Fair Trade Cafe and why it's important. We will be right back.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in! Arizona State wins! Keeping one deep, and it is caught! Jalen Strong! Do you believe it?
Here at Cronkite News, we have producers who craft shows that make an impact on our community. Our broadcasts allow students to be involved in all levels of production, from producing to directing. We are guided by highly respected professionals who mentor the journalists of tomorrow. From technical directing to teleprompting and beyond, our production crew works tirelessly to produce meaningful and award-winning shows. We are Cronkite News on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back to Cronkite SJI News. I'm Natalia Marin.
And I'm Erica Jang. Climate change has raised electricity bills, depleted water supplies, and cost numerous lives in the city of Phoenix. And despite government action, certain communities still deal with the brunt of the impact. I spoke to Valley residents to hear their thoughts.
Has just been getting hotter. Not quite enough charging stations that are operational. For example, Surprise, Arizona, they got rid of their recycling program altogether.
Heat, recycling, and electric car charging may seem universal, but ASU professor Glenn Sheriff thinks there is a deeper issue.
97% of cities in the United States had worse distribution of heat for low-income minority than for white and more affluent communities.
Experts define environmental racism as a system where communities of color are made more vulnerable to natural threats. Dean Christopher Boone with ASU's School of Sustainability says the Valley isn't immune to this.
We find that the majority of these toxic facilities are located primarily in neighborhoods where it's majority Latino, majority Hispanic by census definition terms.
And the effects of these pollution facilities have not gone unnoticed.
And when you get heat combined with other pollutants and other environmental conditions, that increases the incidence of things like asthma.
According to 2017 data from the Maricopa County Health Department, residents in South and West Phoenix suffer disproportionately from asthma.
Whoever makes those decisions disregards the community completely.
Sherry Collins is an ASU professor of philosophy who has done extensive research in environmental racism. She says it's difficult to find solutions when big political power is at play.
Without a healthy environment, we really don't have much.
Boone says solutions must come from people who care about making a change.
So being sure to be included in public meetings, being sure to be there at the municipal level when those decisions are being made about rezoning or zoning, to make sure that environmental justice becomes one of the consideration of many.
Reporting in Phoenix for Cronkite SJI, I'm Erica Jane. Everyone should be able to understand and have a voice, meaning more languages should be offered. He thinks making the right decisions now can still have a positive impact on the future environmental conditions that people live under.
Moving on to something lighter, Cronkite SJI reporter Jeremiah Griffith is here.
He has the latest sports headlines for us. Jeremiah.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Erica. On Monday, Brooklyn Nets point guard Kyrie Irving decided to exercise his $36.9 million option for the coming season and will remain under contract with the team. Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly in pursuit of a signing trade that would land the 30-year-old back with his former Cleveland Cavaliers teammate LeBron James. Responding to the news, Irving said on Twitter, "I know who I am. However, the saga may not be over for the seven-time All-Star as he is on an expiring contract and can still be traded." Switching over to the football field, the NFL is reportedly more likely to accept Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson's 6 to 8 game suspension and will not appeal. The Watson may miss most, if not all, of the 2022 NFL season after facing allegations of sexual assault and sexual misconduct from 24 different women this offseason.
What is in store for us this upcoming holiday weekend? Let's get a check of your weather forecast now.
Hi, I'm Flynn Burdick with the weather. So let's take a look at these storms. In the southern and northern regions, we see scattered storms move around, avoiding the valley, but hopefully we get a little bit more cloud coverage and those storms will spark back up tomorrow. Let's take a look at exactly how hot it's going to be. So we have a high of 106 in Phoenix and a high of 103 in Casa Grande. In Flagstaff, we have a low of 73. Looking at the rest of the evening, we have 104 at 6 p.m. We move down to 94 by 10 p.m. And as we cool down, we have a higher chance for rain and thunderstorms. Looking at the next 3 days, tomorrow we have a 20% chance of rain and cloud coverage, which hopefully cools it down a little bit. But Friday and Saturday, no cloud coverage, but a small chance for rain on Saturday. Looking at the rest of the week, we have a high of 106 on Sunday and a low of 83. On 4th of July, we do have a high of 105 and 83. On Tuesday, a 106 over 83. And on Wednesday, we have a high of 107 over 84. And on Thursday, 109 over 84. On the 4th of July, make sure to limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and put on lots of sunscreen. I'm Flynn Burdick. Back to you.
Right now, gas prices are slowing down after reaching record highs 2 weeks ago. According to AAA, the average price of a gallon of gas in Arizona is $5.28, while the national average is lower at $4.89 a gallon. Cronkite SJI reporter Osama Riccio shows us how high prices are still fueling conversations about electric cars.
There's no doubt that the gas prices are getting out of hand. Due to inflation, many hardworking Americans can no longer afford to fill up their tank. Many ask, is it time to go electric?
When I go somewhere, I just got back from North Dakota to spread my grandparents' ashes. It was unbelievable. It was more expensive to drive than it would be to fly.
Nathan Irk is a small business owner. His personal life and his company are feeling the impact.
I just paid $129, and I do that for 2 trucks twice a week.
And Irk says It's hard for him to pass on that cost to his customers. He would like to make the switch in the future to an electric vehicle to save money. But Jenny Gonzalez says she's not so sure about the technology.
We've heard a lot of different things, and I can't speak because we don't have had one, just the cost of replacing the battery, and not only that, they're talking about being efficient, but they have to create these batteries, which still is destroying the ozone, so that doesn't even make sense.
Burt Mills owns a smart car and says it was expensive to install an at-home charger, but believes it's worth it.
Electricity is pretty cheap compared to what gasoline prices were before the war. And so, yeah, it's been, as price-wise, it's been very economical.
ASU innovation researcher Sean McAllister says electric cars can be a cheaper alternative that could soon be more achievable.
Purchasing an electric car right now is a very expensive thing to do. In the next few years, we might actually see some fairly inexpensive electric cars coming out.
Reporting in Phoenix for Cronkite SJI, I'm Solomon Riccio.
4th of July is quickly approaching, and Arizona has a list of different events that people can attend over the weekend.
On Friday night, live music and fireworks will be part of the Fountain Celebration at Fountain Park. It will kick off at 7 p.m. Throughout the weekend, the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess Hotel is hosting the 4th of July Freedom Fest. Each night will have fireworks and live concerts as well.
Change is brewing. A local business is hoping to educate the next generation on sustainability through something many can't start their days without: coffee. Cronkite SJI reporter Yamilet Rodriguez takes us to a shop in Phoenix to see how they're doing things differently.
Here at Fairtrade Cafe, the standard is in the name. The cafe is supplied by Fairtrade's coffee beans, a common ethical policy. That means the beans are sourced fairly, humanely, and sustainably. I sat down with the owner of this cafe, Stephanie Vasquez, to learn more about this local business demonstrating climate-friendly options.
We source locally. All of our products they break down minimally through recycling. However, majority of them are compostable.
Vasquez started the cafe to raise awareness about how wasteful consumers and businesses can be, something Vasquez admits she was guilty of herself.
Honestly, I was what I like to say an ignorant consumer, and I had no idea of what I was feeding into as far as consumption and the way that I was purchasing. So I just thought, really, I know I wasn't the only one.
Coffee beans from this local business traveled all the way from Guatemala to the valley. The cafe supports a shade-grown coffee policy, which means the coffee beans were grown under a canopy of trees, benefiting the forest ecosystem and the planet.
Sustainability, composting, ethical practices were all things that were not sensationalized the way that they are now.
According to the Wiley Online Library, data shows that less than 20% of cafes have recycling policies and nearly 15% use shade-grown coffee. Fairtrade Cafe incorporates these strategies into their work, which provides many climate-friendly and responsible options for their customers.
This place is truly magical, and I get to be around incredible people every single day, drink delicious coffee, and create impact.
Reporting in Phoenix for Cronkite SJI, I'm Yamilet Rodriguez.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Natalia Marin.
And I'm Erica Jing. For more information on the stories you just saw, visit campcronkite.com. Have a good evening.